Hello, this is Ron Jordan. I've in my shop here with some of the hammers I've just recently finished, some of which are going to Sarah. I've started making hammers 7-8 years ago after I met Robert Bedard down at a music festival in Oklahoma at a friends of ours, David and Annette Lindsay. They have a big festival each year at the Winter Creek Reunion, which I hope to go to again this year. And Bob's over the years has given me some guidance and some advice. I visited his shop a couple times. He's showed me the tricks. I've acquired a couple more machines than he has. He does things a specific way, and I've adapted some of those. Pretty much everything I do is pretty much the same as he does. I'm still a full-time pharmacist, so I've had to get a couple machines that speed things up for me here. I plan on picking this up when Bob lays down his apron, but hopefully that will not be for quite some time. I'd like to see him keep doing this for a while yet. So I'm supposed to go over some of my hammers. First off, the woods I use, Sarah wanted to know, mostly cherry and maple, and predominantly maple. I have a bunch of exotic woods overhead here. I do not use them that much anymore, other than for grips. They just don't work as well. There's some characteristics, the grain patterns, their resonance it just makes them more difficult to use, and I don't think, other than the fact that they may look pretty, I don't think they work that well for hammers. I mean, when you go to pianos and stuff like that, the hammers inside of a piano are pretty much all maple, to the best of my knowledge, and I think it's the strongest and safest wood to use. With two exceptions for Bob's, this is an unfinished pair of Harlequin hammers. They're made, one side is out of ebony, which is fairly expensive wood, runs about $100 a board foot. And the other one I use is the other side is either maple, in this case, or in another case is holly, which is a very white and light wood, which I like doing it with the Harlequins, because Harlequins tend to be a heavier hammer because of the ebony, and the holly tends to offset that. So I've actually been able to get Harlequin hammers to weigh under 10 grams, which is difficult to do otherwise. I have a few representations of the ones I use, or I make the most. Most common, Bob designed, and Karen Ashbrook likes this style, and so we called it the Ashbrook. And Bob has made probably thousands of these over the years. Probably my most popular hammer. Other one kind of looks the same, a little heavier, wider design, has some holes in the center. He named that the Zephyr. I do have some small ones over here that kind of look like a miniature Ashbrook. Bob called these Plain Janes, so P-L-A-Y-N Jane. He made a lot of these for dulcimer builders, and they'd give them away. I've had several people that really like the shorter hammers. Those are only 7.5 inches long. Gives them a little more control, and when you're beginning, it's an excellent hammer to start out with, because you don't have to worry about the heads wobbling all over the place. As far as length is concerned, most of these are all 8 3/8. I'm not sure how that came about, but that seems to be a predominant length. I do have some that I like a little better for myself when I'm playing a large instrument. These are 9 inches long with a 3.5 inch grip. It's an extra long grip. I can get multiple fingers on there, and I'm not hanging on to it the way a lot of people grip a hammer, which I don't think is the best way to do it. But it gives you a bigger surface, more control when you're hammering. And this is that was one I designed for Dan Landrum. This is the one I use myself, especially on my Grand. Weight-wise, I don't even weigh these because the grips are so heavy. It takes so much of the weight off of the head, it really doesn't matter, because the way it balances, that the weight is in the grip, not in the head of the hammer. Most of the Harlequin, or most of the regular hammers I make are going to be in the range of probably 9 to 11 grams, sometimes a lot lighter depending on how thin I make the grips. I have a popular one I came up with several years ago, and I've done the head a little bit different hole patterns, but it's acrylic grip hammer, good balance, feels nice. Maple wood, this happens to be bird's eye maple. Acrylic edge on it. I came up with that probably about 5 years ago. I sent it off to the, if anybody's familiar with the Squirrel's Nest in Evart, Michigan, at the festival up there. Those guys would go through a pair of ebony hammers in 2 years. I made some of these, sent them up there to them. They've had them, I think, 5 or 6 years. They're still playing on the same pair. So it might not be too good for me economically, but the acrylic edge just does not wear out. I mean, you can bang on that all day long. It is a brighter sound, so it's not going to be as a mellow sound as a cherry edge or a maple edge, but it will not wear out. And on the other side, I put a felted hammer or felted side to it. I play a lot with that, especially on my Grand. I'd like to stay married, so that's the one I use, especially when I'm practicing in the house. But it's nice. If you're at a jam, you don't really know the song, or if your dulcimer's a little bright and you want to bring it down a little bit, and you want to stay in the background, you don't know the song perfect, just flip them over, and you got a nice muted. It's kind of like portable dampers if you don't have dampers on your instrument. And then if you want to flip it over and go for it on the other side, I know that tune, go for it. But excellent choice. They won't wear out, last a long time. Weight-wise, a lot of people like really light hammers. Bob always made some that were, I think one was the maple hammer with some holly grips on it. He sells a lot of those. Might be a 7 or 8 gram hammer, so if you got a small dulcimer, it's a nice choice. People like them. I play with hammers that are anywhere from maybe, I think my lightest pair is a pair I have from Bob that's maybe 7 or 8 grams, all the way up to my large one here, which I think is around 15. I can play with any hammer on any instrument. You just got to give yourself a little time to get used to it. Many people think that they have to have a certain length and a certain weight, and it has to be exact. Just try a pair of hammers, get used to it, play with it. You'll get the hang of it. You're amazing what you can compensate for after a while. And tone-wise, I did mention the tone. Maple has a really good, not a real bright tone, but a good tone. Cherry will be a little less obvious than that. And I do ebony edges as Bob has done in the past. An ebony edge on one side will not be quite as bright as acrylic, but it's one step down from that. But it will last a tremendous long time. Lots of other little variations. Lord knows there's enough hammer makers out there that you'll find one you like. The only way you can do it is to try one for a while. And just keep trying different ones. I go around when I'm going to a jam session or something, or if I'm traveling, I'll have 8, 9, 10 pairs of hammers with me. And I don't always play with mine. David Lindsay makes a flexible shaft hammer that I absolutely love. And there's a couple songs that it's still Dave's hammers that I get out and wail at it. So find one you like, just stick with it. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me either through eBay or my site. Bob is still making hammers, so if you want a pair of Bob Bedard Hammers, he's got a special anniversary edition out this year. He's saying he's going to retire in August. I'm not sure if I believe that, but please give him a visit as well. Great old man, sweet man, nice guy. He could use your support. He's spent his 28 years he's done hammers for the community now. So, but if you have any other questions, just shoot me a line. Appreciate your business. If you have any comments or questions, just send me a note and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.